Bodhicitta. Dispelling worries.
Greetings everyone, and welcome to our show. Today, we're diving deep into a conversation about the concept of bodhicitta, a core tenet of Buddhist teachings on awakening and compassion. Through an insightful dialogue between a student and a teacher, we'll learn how to cultivate great compassion, resolve our inner afflictions, and ultimately progress on the path toward enlightened bodhicitta. This conversation isn't just for Buddhist practitioners. It offers practical advice for anyone seeking inner peace. Let's begin. The dialogue starts with a pivotal question. If I feel wronged or sad while helping others, does that still count as great compassion? The student describes a situation where they feel the urge to help those who are suffering, but an unwillingness arises when they actually act. The teacher's answer is direct. Yes, it does. The teacher explains that even if you feel wronged, your initial motivation is to alleviate another's suffering. The feeling of being wronged is merely an expression of an affliction, a temporary emotion. The essence of great compassion lies in your inner motive of kindness. The teacher further explains that bodhicitta is like a vajra, a diamond that can cut through all afflictions. As long as you have even a tiny spark of compassionate intention, you can begin to break through ignorance and inner turmoil. This point is truly inspiring, as it tells us that we don't need to be perfect to start our practice. Even with complex emotions, we can begin to cultivate great compassion from the present moment. The student presses on. If I've committed to great compassion, but still feel wronged during the process, how can I overcome this emotion? The teacher offers a very practical approach to gradually dissolve afflictions like greed, hatred, ignorance, arrogance, and doubt. The teacher uses a vivid analogy. Think about the names and faces of your elementary school classmates. Back then, you remembered them clearly, but after many years without contact, the memories get blurry. The teacher explains that afflictions are the same. They're not inherent to us. They are habits we've developed by repeatedly nourishing them. If you stop feeding them, for example, by no longer indulging in greed or anger, they will gradually wither away. Here's the specific method. Recognize the harm of afflictions. They only bring suffering, like the 8 types of suffering in Buddhism, such as the pain of not getting what you want or the pain of separation. When you find yourself following an affliction, stop and tell yourself, this is harmful. I need to pull myself back. The teacher calls this entering a state of partial awakening. The teacher suggests a 21-day challenge, days 1 to 7. You might only realize you've been following an affliction after it has already occurred. Days 8 to 14. You're able to pull yourself back midway through the affliction. Days 15 to 21. The moment an affliction arises, you can stop it immediately. This is what the teacher calls scolding the affliction. This method is simple yet profound. You don't need complex theories. You just need to say, this is harmful. Come back. By consistently practicing this, you build a new mental habit, replacing the old, afflictive patterns. It's like reprogramming yourself. The teacher quotes a scripture. Bodhicitta is like a vajra, capable of destroying all ignorant afflictions. The student then asks, what does it mean that ignoble beings cannot attain bodhicitta? The teacher explains that ignoble doesn't mean a simple flaw. It refers to a stubborn adherence to harmful habits, like a completely rotten apple that's inedible. These beings refuse to accept help and are deeply mired in greed, hatred, and ignorance. Thankfully, some people are not completely rotten. They are like an apple with a bad spot. If you cut out the bad part, the rest is still viable for practice. What's truly fearful is being completely rotten, reaching a state of incorrigible stubbornness. The teacher emphasizes that generating bodhicitta is the cause, and attaining bodhicitta is the result. It starts with a compassionate intention, and through continuous practice, you can resolve afflictions. But if you're unwilling to even have that initial intention, then there can be no talk of enlightenment. The student then raises a common question. Can I just rely on chanting the names of Buddhas, like Avalokiteshvara or the Medicine Buddha, to clear my afflictions? The teacher acknowledges that chanting does have power. When your heart aligns with the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are indeed helping you clear negative karma. But there's a problem. If you chant on one hand while creating new afflictions with the other, continuing to be greedy or hateful, it's like the Buddhas clear 1/3 of a mountain of debt, and you immediately pile 10 more mountains back up. The teacher places greater emphasis on the importance of self-effort. He uses a frank analogy. Relying completely on the Buddhas is like being an adult, still dependent on their mother to clean their clothes. True practice involves training your own mind to identify and abandon afflictions. Chanting can assist, but ultimately, you must build your own affliction-fighting capability. The teacher further suggests that you must deeply experience the suffering brought on by afflictions, such as the pain of separation or the pain of not getting what you want. He even proposes a bold exercise. Smash something you love, like your phone or computer, and feel the pain of loss. This isn't self-torture. It's to make you truly understand that attachment and craving are the roots of this suffering. The teacher also shares a true story about a person who, due to arrogance, refused to ask for help, even when critically ill. They died alone, showing how terrifying afflictions can be. Arrogance alone can completely sever your connection to help. By tasting these bitter fruits, we can truly understand the harm of greed, hatred, and ignorance, and thus resolve to abandon them. Perhaps the most thought-provoking point in the dialogue is the discussion on love. The student notes that many people mistake selfish desires for love, leading to endless suffering from unfulfilled cravings. The teacher corrects this, stating that this isn't love, it's greed. True love is about sacrificing for others, not using others to satisfy your own desires. This view subverts our common understanding of love. The world often romanticizes possessiveness and the desire for self-gratification as love. But in reality, this is just greed in disguise, leading to harm for both oneself and others. By letting go of this kind of craving, we can break free from the cycle of suffering. This dialogue shows us that the practice of bodhicitta is not some distant ideal, but a practice we can begin right now. Whether you feel wronged or burdened by afflictions, as long as you have a compassionate intention, you can take the first step. Through continuous practice, such as the 21-day challenge, or deeply experiencing the roots of suffering, we can gradually dissolve afflictions and cultivate pure wisdom. Thank you for listening. If this has inspired you, try this exercise. Just for one day, when you feel angry or greedy, stop and say, "This is harmful." Come back. See what happens. We'll see you in the next episode. May you continue to move forward on the path of awakening.